All right, are you ready for this? All right. Good evening, everybody. All right, let's go ahead and try that one more time. Good evening, everybody. Wow, nicely done. I am Christopher Boyer. I am a chamber member with the Academy of Modern Martial Arts, and I am one of the many past presidents of our local chamber. It is my great pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to the annual Lake Oswego Chamber of Commerce Community Awards event. Tonight is the night we get a glimpse into the heart of our community. Tonight is the night we get to closer look at those contributors of passion and soul that make Lake Oswego the city we all love. As you all know, we are a city blessed. Let's go with blessed. We're a city blessed with outstanding beauty, as well as a host of outdoor and indoor opportunities. But this is the important thing to note. Cities like ours do not just happen. They're the result of people caring enough to put their time and their talent and their attention to work locally. Tonight, we get to honor a few individuals you may already know, and we get to shine a light on a few that you may not know yet. Our Lake Oswego Chamber of Commerce was established in 1942. Since that time, we have acted as one of the heartbeats for our local community, primarily connecting your faces to our local business places. However, our chamber is a lot more than that. Our chamber is a unique entity in that we're able to bridge gaps and foster connections between many of the different silos in our community. We bring together our local government, our schools, the arts, and the business community. Tonight's event itself is a case in point with all the numerous different awards you're going to see here tonight. And to kick things off, I'm going to ask you to joining me in welcoming to the podium current Chamber President, Matthew Call.
Good evening and welcome on behalf of the Lake Oswego Chamber of Commerce. Our 19-member board includes representatives from Lake Oswego businesses of all sizes, as well as our partners with the city, the school district, the Lake Corporation, and City Council. The board meets monthly, but each of us also serve on no less than one chamber committee. This year we welcomed the Lake Grove Business Association as part of the chamber, bringing on the historic business district that strengthens the direction and the voice of the city. With this year's Chamber Board of Directors, please stand to be recognized. As you know, some of the city's longest-standing organizations present awards at this event. They all have strong boards who make meaningful contributions to the city. With the board members from the Lakewood Center, the Arts Council, and the Heritage House, please stand. The Chamber has a 35-year program called Leadership Lake Oswego, of which I am a proud graduate. Not only has it become a pipeline for service on various boards and commissions throughout the city, but it also is a program that contributes to the sense of what Lake Oswego is and what we can be with the help of our citizens. If you have gone through the Leadership Lake Oswego program or are currently in the program, please stand. A relationship the chamber of utmost importance is the one we have with elected officials in the city, county, and state levels, many of whom also have chamber memberships. Would our elected officials please stand as I call your names? Mayor Joe Buck, Councilor John Winwin, Councilor Rachel Verdick, Councilor Masin Mungwa. Lake Oswego School Board members Neelam Gupta and Liz Hartman. Metro Council President Lynn Peterson. And State Representative Daniel Wynn. On behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, thank you for attending this event, and thank you for the part each and every one of you do in our community in building and maintaining our city as a place where we want to live, work, play, and raise our families. We cannot put on a program like tonight's without the assistance of our sponsors. Tonight's title sponsor has sponsored the awards event for the past 7 years. That has Columbia Bank. This year, they come with a new name, but the same dedication to our community. I'd like to welcome Matt Chrisman, Vice President, Branch Manager, and our Chamber Treasurer, representing our title sponsor, Umpqua Bank.
Y'all remember Charlie used to get up and do this. He's right over here. I tried to get up and do it, but he didn't want to. Anyways, welcome everybody. What a wonderful evening. It's beautiful outside. As Matthew said, my name is Matt Chrisman, and I am the manager of the Lake Oswego office of Umpqua Bank. I got that right. Of Umpqua Bank. We've sponsored this event a number of years, and I think it just shows our commitment to the community. We're very involved in the community. And our goal of always building lasting relationships in Lake Oswego is very important to us. But this night is not about the bank or me. It's about the winners, the award winners, the leaders, the people that are out there doing good things in the city every day, leading and then developing new leaders, which is so important for us. A little bit about Umpqua Bank. I'm getting that right every time. A little bit about Umpqua Bank. We are headquartered in Tacoma. We have The nice thing with the merger is we now have a number of new locations in the metro area to serve our clients, which is wonderful, which is very helpful. Have all the products and services of all the other banks. And you know, obviously it's a rate environment right now, so we have some good rates, some good deposit rates on CDs and money markets. But we really just try and build lasting relationships in the community. And so if you have any needs or need any help, just let me know. I'd be happy to help you. And then the last thing I'd like to talk about is our commitment to the community, because that's the reason I love to work for Columbia Bank. We do so many things in the community. Right now is we're in the midst of our Melanie Dressel Service Month, where we honor our late CEO. And we get out in the communities, we do community service. 2 weeks ago, we were all at the Portland Rescue Mission serving breakfast. We do that about 5 times a year. Hopefully we'll still continue to do it, but we do a big fundraiser during the holidays, where last year we raised $300,000, and all that money goes back into our communities all over the entire market. So very proud of that. And in conclusion, what a beautiful place. We need to thank the Halliday family for building this so we can celebrate and have a great time. Wanted to give a shout out to Liz Hartman. Liz is back there right there. Liz is doing a wonderful job at the Chamber. This event has grown every year, and I just think she's done a wonderful job. So if you're not a member of the Chamber, join the Chamber. And have a good time tonight. Enjoy yourselves, and on with the awards, right? Back to you, Chris.
Thank you, Matt, for your and Umpqua Bank's consistent support. One of the many beautiful things about the return to in-person events is that it has allowed our chamber to resume our Friday morning networking sessions every week. And what that really means is that our membership at large was able to select the individual to recognize this evening as Networker of the Year. Whether you manage, own, or work for a business, one of the important things you must do is make yourself and your business known. This year's Networker of the Year hit the ground running when his company assigned him as representative to the Lake Oswego Chamber of Commerce. First of all, he attended Friday morning networking sessions. Then he signed on as an ambassador. And then he even helped facilitate the networking sessions. He represented himself and his business at the highest possible level. Along the way, he became known as a pretty great guy and somebody I'm happy to call a friend. Clint Redding, will you please come forward? I think we all know the importance of internet for our daily businesses, and we thank Comcast for their sponsorship of tonight's award. Clint, we've been delighted to learn more about you and your family in the past year, and we're thankful for your service to our business community. Most of all, we thank you for being a happy face at Friday Morning Networking. Clint Redding, congratulations on being named Chamber Networker of the Year.
Thank you. This is a tremendous honor. I have nothing prepared to say other than thank you all for having me in your community, for trusting in me. Thank you to Bryce and Jenny Jackson. Bryce and Jenny Jackson. Jenny from Flourish Marketing is my networking coach, so I decided she should be here to see this tonight. And my wife, Libby, thank you for holding it down at the house so I can be out here every hour of the day and do what I do. Thank you all, and just thank you all for welcoming me to the community. I am over the moon for this award. Thank you.
Wow, I'm glad my hand still works after that. Speaking of hands, I hope if you haven't put any lotion on yet, I think maybe now's the time you should do it, because you are going to be doing a lot of clapping tonight, so you got to get these things ready and you got to do some self-care, okay? When it comes to elevating the lives of people surrounding us, few things do that as well as choosing to wear a beautiful smile, much like the one Clint has. Seriously, check it out. Look at this guy. That said, another good way to elevate everyone's spirit is beautifying our city at large. The Headley Beautification Award is back this year to honor Lake Oswego's gateway piece by internationally renowned public artist Ed Carpenter. The piece, titled Flourish, marks the boundary of Lake Oswego on Highway 43 and Terwilliger Boulevard. Please join me in welcoming to the podium Mayor Joe Buck and Nicole Nathan from the Arts Council to accept the Headley Beautification Award. In case you're going to come up for an award later, this is how we're going to do it. You're going to be on this side for the handshake. Very good handshake. Nice. Great. Excellent handshake. Well played. There you go. And then the award.
Oh, hold on. There we go.
Thank you, everyone. I'm Nicole Nathan. I'm the Executive Director at the Arts Council of Lake Oswego, a distinct pleasure that I have. As part of the City and the Arts Council's 2016 through 2021 Public Art Master Plan, the Gateway piece was just a plan on paper until presented to the Tourism Advisory Committee, who recommended funding of this significant project in early 2017. 5 years and hundreds, if not thousands of hours later, Flourish came to be. As this had not been done in Lake Oswego prior, there was a definite learning curve to this project. Some aspect of Flourish touched nearly every part of the city, from building and facilities, council to parks, and planning and beautification to the city manager and the city attorney. It was truly a team effort, and it wouldn't be what it is today without all of this collective wisdom and willingness to go the extra bit longer to bring something great to Lake Oswego. Thank you to the incredible ACLO board and the Gateway Selection Committee, all volunteers who did the hard yet very fun work of selecting an artist of Ed Carpenter's stature to bring this work to Lake Oswego. There are just a handful of pieces of Mr. Carpenter's work in the area, among them the Barbara Walker pedestrian bridge over West Burnside and Tekotosh at Portland State University. So Lake Oswego is so very lucky and fortunate to have a piece like this in the town. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe and Nicole, for all you both do on so many different fronts for our city. Now, I'm going to ask you all to join me in welcoming one of tonight's gold sponsors to the stage, the General Manager of Republic Services, Josh Jordan.
Good evening, everyone. So Josh Jordan couldn't be here, but I'm Jason Jordan, so we got that covered. So I just wanted to say first off, on behalf of Republic Services, who many of you may or may not know, it's the blue trucks you see on the streets that collect your recycling garbage. I want to say thank you. I have a team here with me tonight, and then we have countless individuals that work behind the scenes to serve the city of Lake Oswego. And one thing I would like to say is LO has always been progressive in finding sustainable and responsible ways to move the community forward, and I feel really strongly that we've been a long-term partner for that. So I get a little PSA to tell you a little bit about some of those reasons and how we do that. First off, that many of you may not know is that the drivers behind the scenes, the average tenure of our team is 14 years with the company in the industry. And on an annual basis, just for the businesses of Lake Oswego, we collect over 15 million pounds, and I'm not kidding you, 15 million pounds of material annually. But more importantly, of the 15 million pounds, 5 million are diverted from landfills through recovery efforts for composting and recycling. One other way that we are looking at sustainability and being responsible is in 2016, we commissioned a renewable natural gas facility and aimed at reducing our need for diesel vehicles. And over the years, we've been able to transition over half of our fleet of 60 vehicles to renewable natural gas. But more importantly is starting in 2024, we will be the first of the recycling and garbage industry in the state of Oregon to start an electric collection fleet. And we will start through the South Metro area. So we're very excited about that. So with that, again, I just want to say thank you, allowing us the opportunity to serve you, as every one of you is a customer, and it's very important to us to make sure that we're servicing your needs. But more importantly, for the honor to be here tonight and to partake in the celebration of some great individuals and recipients of these awards. So with that, thank you very much.
That was incredibly well done for a guy who wasn't even supposed to be the one coming up here to speak. So I think he just raised the bar. I better get my act together. So thank you so much, Jason. We appreciate having Republic Services as one of tonight's sponsors. Now, because awards dinners are always better when they're interactive, I've got a relatively easy interactive awards event for all of you. How many of you enjoy the public art displays here in Lake Oswego? All right, then you're going to have no trouble putting those hands together to help me welcome back to the podium Director of the Arts Council, Nicole Nathan.
Thanks so much. You can't get rid of me. It is my pleasure this evening to talk about the Fortuna Award. So throughout the Arts Council's 20+ years in existence, we've made enormous strides thanks to creative thinkers and civic leaders, dedicated community partners, and enlightened business owners who value the arts as a key attribute to livability and economic prosperity. We're fortunate to have so many wonderful partners in the community who provide visionary support for our arts-based gallery located on A in the City Hall building, our educational programs and events, and the Gallery Without Walls public art program. So thank you. The Fortuna Award goes to an individual or group who supports the arts in our community and is named for the Fortuna sculpture which anchors the southern end of 1st Street at the roundabout at Millennium Plaza Park. Fortuna is a part of a suite of 10 sculptures throughout Millennium Plaza Park by artist Simon Toporowski. These sculptures were some of the very foundational pieces in the City of Lake Oswego program and provided the impetus for the Arts Council of Lake Oswego to become a nonprofit, which began in 1999. Tonight, I'm happy to bestow the Arts Council's Fortuna Award to two incredible folks who are arts community advocates and dedicated volunteers who who serve both the Arts Council and the city. Our Fortuna Award winners tonight are Joyce Anaker and Pat Vesley. Both of these extraordinary people are the quintessential example of volunteerism. Both Joyce and Pat work to better and add to their community through education, serving on a variety of committees, outreach, care of artwork, helping out with events, and sharing their incredible knowledge of the Arts Council and the Public Art Program. Joyce has been a vital part of the Public Art Committee and has just finished up her tenure there. She has jumped in to serve on selection committees, including Lillian Pitt's piece in City Hall, checked on and recorded the condition of the indoor and outdoor collection, been key in numerous events, served as a connector and advocate for all of what we do, and shared her immense knowledge. Pat has served as the institutional memory holder of the Arts Council and exemplified this in so many ways. As a board member, 2 stints, Public Art Committee co-chair, Gallery Without Walls committee member, part of the Gateway selection cadre, event host, artist and education advocate, sculpture sponsor, giving campaign talent along with her dog Bo, and the unofficial Mary's Woods Gallery Without Walls tour provider. Pat's giving is part of her DNA. I was also going to make a joke that she gives until it hurts because her daughter even has worked for the Arts Council. Without folks like Pat and Joyce, very simply, the Arts Council would not be here. So because of all of this and much more, it's my honor to present Pat Vesley and Joyce Anaker with the 2023 Fortuna Award.
Have it just face towards the face.
Okay, Joyce, I'm gonna let you go first.
Thank you very much, Nicole. I have enjoyed my years working with the Art Council. I've been involved in the arts all my life, and this has been a very good pleasure to do it here in Lake Oswego. And I'm proud of how we look and how we beautify the city and actually the surroundings too, by the art that's chosen and our care of it as it's in place. And thank you very, very much.
Hi, everybody, and thank you. Particularly thank you to Nicole for nominating me for this award. In 1989, my last child went to school, and I said, I gotta do something in the arts. And so I was a docent at the Portland Art Museum until 2002, when I said, I need to switch and go to Lake Oswego and put my efforts there. So I've come and I'm still here and I'm not leaving, as you might think, because you're giving me this award. But no, I'm not leaving. Anyway, I look around this room and I see so many people from the community that I've worked with that have come in to the Gallery Without Walls and the Arts Committee as community members. The Chamber, people from the Chamber, City Hall, mayors, I had something else but I didn't write it down. Anyway, they've all been so helpful and they've also contributed, which is another reason why this community is so giving and so wonderful. I'm blanking on my next thing. Oh, I wanted to say thank you particularly to Nicole and to our staff at the office. I've seen 4 executive directors come and go to the Arts Council since I have been a member. And Nicole has taken us to new heights. And I can't tell you how much. We're really busy. We do all these things. She coordinates a million things that go through our office. And she's always looking for new things that we can bring to the community in the arts. So thank you, Nicole. And the last thing I want to say is 37 years as an arts volunteer, and it's been my passion and my love and my pleasure. Thank you all.
Thank you, Nicole, and congratulations, Joyce and Pat. One of the things Pat was telling me just tonight, right over there at that balcony, is anybody here familiar with that Forbes magazine? Yeah, you guys familiar with that? And you know that Lake Oswego was given good mention within our fair-sized city size. And do you know why we were given that good mention as an admirable city? Our public art program. So another big round of applause, please, for Joyce, Pat, and Nicole. Beauty, music, public art, and the arts themselves. These are things that move us, that inspire us to reflect, and to bring more of our own heart to the table. These things truly do matter. Please join me in welcoming to the podium somebody who knows a thing or two about the arts, the executive director of our 70-year-old Lakewood Center for the Performing Arts, Andrew Edwards.
Good evening, everybody. Oh, I like that when the audience responds. Good evening. Oh, welcome, everybody. Isn't it a beautiful evening? Halliday family, what a beautiful facility. Thank you for making this happen. This is gorgeous. I have the honor of doing a presentation of the K Vega Arts Champion Award. This award is from Lakewood. It's made to individuals and or organizations who inspire and nurture a love of theater and the arts. It recognizes the service a person, persons, or organization do to promote and or fund and or work with the arts. Well, tonight's awards recipients were unaware they were receiving this recognition tonight, but their amazing persistence today ferreted out that surprise. With numerous phone calls, texts, and emails, they now know they are the recipients. And perhaps it is this persistence and dedication that has been and continues to be a reason they are significant leaders in the arts and culture of our city. Both Ed and Joanne Frankel often express their love and appreciation to the talents in our community. As one of our board members recently said, they have always had a deep and abiding understanding of our youth and the importance of arts in education. To be frank, they amaze us with their tireless energy, positive focus, and grace. You have seen one, or both, working not only with Lakewood, but also with the Arts Council, with individual artists, or other organizations throughout town. Well, who are these amazing people? Each has been and continues to be an analyst, fundraiser, a tireless promoter of Lakewood shows, arts programs, classes, and special events. Both are significant sponsors of Lakewood youth outreach projects, scholarships, special events, as well as special awards and stipends for individual artists at our Festival of the Arts and in our Rising Star program. Both have led or underwritten special fundraising drives, events, and meetings. Some of you may have met Joanne. She is our brick lady. So if you need a brick inscribed, see Joanne after this meeting. Both have provided countless meals and parties and receptions for artists, staff, volunteers. They've donated artwork. We have a beautiful sculpture at Lakewood because of the Frankels. talent, countless hours to achieve our mission, which again is to inspire and nurture a love of theater and the arts. They really are an inspiration to others in how they love and how they serve and enhance our community. And oh, by the way, did I mention they're persistent? But in a good way. A way that truly and genuinely, I think, benefits us all. So I'm so pleased to make this presentation to an amazing couple, and if they would please come forward. In gratitude from Lakewood, its board and volunteers. She said I didn't say like a dog with a bone. But it's true. Come here, photo op, photo op.
Thank you.
Oh, you want to go with the...
Well, now they want the award, so you
Yeah.
guys will do it again, sorry.
There you go. Perfect. Right here. There we go.
Thank you, Andrew. I get this down. Okay. Ed and I are passionate supporters of the visual arts and the performing arts. And I'm really pleased that Lakewood is such a good fit for us. And I have loved all the years that I've been working there, which I think is now about up to 17.
Quite a few.
Lakewood's executive director, Andrew. Our producer, Steve Knox, who's here. Several of our staff and board members are also here. And they responded positively to the chaotic challenges that came with COVID. We were able to continue with programs in different ways that we had never done before. And during that time, we even increased the initiatives of outreach in both art and theater for children, and we're really excited about that. And we could not do any of that without all of our volunteers and this wonderful, wonderful community that is so supportive of the arts. So we're greatly appreciative for that. Thank you for this very special award, and we look forward and hope to see all of you at Lakewood. Ed?
I consider ourselves a really good team, but I need to put our relationship in perspective. Going way back, 1985, Joanne's second year of 20 plus in Asia, I was doing a lot of traveling, and she announced that we had been invited to the ambassador's black tie ball. The heads of Intel and Motorola and Dell, Exxon and Chevron. I said, how did we get invited to this? She says, I have no idea. But when we got to the door and they gave us our name tags, mine said, Mr. Joanne. It was then I realized the power of Miss Joanne and Mr. Joanne together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Edward. Thank you, Andrew, and congratulations, Joanne and Mr. Joanne. What is a city without a sense of its history? Right? It is our awareness of where we've been in context with where we are that gives us a sense of where we are going and if we are moving in alignment with our intentions. Heritage and history. If you would all please join me in welcoming to the podium both former City Council member, current president of the Lake Oswego Heritage Council, Jeff Goodman, and Executive Director of the Heritage Council, Catherine Seiner.
What a wonderful evening this evening. Let's give another round of applause to the Chamber and all who helped make this happen. As was just noted, history matters. Think about those two words, history matters. Because if we don't know where we've been, and if we don't know where we are, it really doesn't matter what direction we're going in. The Harold Campbell Heritage Award is given to a person who exemplifies the best in honoring the heritage of our city. And the recipient this evening also demonstrates the wisdom of the words of Mark Twain, who said, history doesn't rhyme, history doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. I'll do better next time. Our winner, an example of that, she has conducted research on a longtime resident of Lake Oswego, Teresa Truchot, in her wartime diaries. Teresa was someone who was deeply engaged in our community for decades. She has published a new edition of the 1898 diary. I don't think anybody here was present at that time. Of Clara and Cora Wilmot, a name which I think you will recognize from neighborhoods in our city. And to show that history does indeed rhyme, our recipient this evening has written an article entitled Flirting by Fruit Box, a look at an early 20th century dating app. This article, based on letters written to local resident Lucy Pollard, will be published in the June issue of the Genealogical Forum of the Oregon Quarterly Bulletin. Just an example of how history doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme. Our recipient this evening also received her undergraduate degree in International Relations and Art History from Stanford University. I should say Leland Stanford Junior University. Any other graduates from Stanford? A master's degree in history from Sonoma State University, and a certificate in the genealogical research from Boston University. It is a great pleasure to give the Harold Campbell Heritage Award to Courtney Clemens.
We got a quick photo first.
Do we photo first or speak? What
Thank you.
Thank you so much for this award. I want to thank everyone at the Heritage Council, especially Mark Brown, with whom I've had the honor of working for the past year, who has let me dive into the collection and discover the stories of the people who have made our community great. Also, I'd like to thank Jeff and Catherine and Mary Puskas, again, for giving me the opportunity to work in such a wonderful collection. I also would really love to thank the Chamber of Commerce. I'm going to put my other hat on for just a moment. Thank the Chamber for endorsing the school levy renewal, which, as we know, passed overwhelmingly last week. I had the honor of co-chairing that campaign with my good friend Heather Wick, and that I just want you to know that funding will go to educate the next generation of community leaders. So thank you, Chamber, thank you, citizens of Lake Oswego, and thank you, Heritage Council, for this award. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine and Jeff, and congratulations, Courtney. Without further ado, please help me welcome back to the microphone to introduce this year's President's Award, local attorney with one of tonight's sponsors, Jordan Ramus, and still our current Chamber President, Mr. Matthew Call.
In 2014, Michael Murray, a Lake Oswego junior high school student, created an after-school club to help plan food drives in order to provide meals to needy students and employees of the Lake Oswego School District. Just a few years later, Hunger Fighters Oregon was officially formed as a nonprofit organization. Last July, Hunger Fighters moved out of its previous space at LOJ and into its current location off Monroe Parkway. This move was in part necessary due to the significant increase in demand the organization was seeing for basic food and hygiene products by families and individuals living and working in Lake Oswego and the surrounding communities. Since 2020, Hunger Fighters has seen demand increase more than 400%. And in just the past 12 months alone, demand has increased more than 120%. Hunger Fighters is currently serving on average between 150 and 175 households each week. It is my honor to award this year's Lake Oswego Chamber of Commerce President's Award to Hunger Fighters Oregon in recognition of the amazing dedication and work that the organization and all of its volunteers do daily, helping to ensure everyone in our community has the essentials they need to survive. Please join me in welcoming Christina Fisher, Executive Director of Hunger Fighters.
Well, thank you, Matthew, and the Chamber for this award, just for this recognition. I'm Christina Fisher. I've had the privilege of leading Hunger Fighters for the past 2 years, and along with that has been the honor of meeting so many of you in this room. This truly is a community award tonight. I think any nonprofit, any small local nonprofit knows that we're only as good as the community that surrounds us and supports us. So that is everyone in this room. If you have donated, if you've volunteered, if you've given food or items, will you just raise your hand for a second? Because I think it's actually most of you in this room. So this has been really an honor. It's been wonderful to serve you, wonderful to be here. Just since March, we've actually served 90 new families as SNAP benefits have decreased. So we're not going anywhere, and we need your continued support. And just thank you for everything you've done for us.
Thank you, Matthew, and a huge thank you to Christina and Hunger Fighters for all of the work that you do in our community. Seriously, that's it is now time to recognize another one of this evening's sponsors, and in order to do that, we need to take a moment to recognize the room you're sitting in. Take a look. How do you guys like this space? Let me tell you, there's no other space I'd rather welcome all of you into. Let me just tell you that, okay? Please join me in welcoming to the microphone the owner of the Beacon Building and Chamber Board Vice President, Jay Halliday.
Every time you do this, it sounds like my surgically repaired knees. It's got this great, not a good sound, but anyway. Christopher, thank you. And before we go, a lot of people have been recognized this evening. We should recognize Christopher Boyer, our former chamber president, MC, and absolutely the best dressed martial instructor in the city of Lake Oswego. So thank you very much. Well, welcome to our family's living room. We've spent over 30 years here in Lake Oswego and raised our family here. And I couldn't think of a better utilization of the space we envisioned, not only the space in Iron Lake, but the building of Beacon Lake Oswego as kind of a hub of activity, as a place where we can come out and celebrate and really enjoy evenings like this. And I know Mayor Buck and some members of the city council are here. You know, that tree behind me, with, that's a little annoying, but anyway. But we like to be good civic neighbors. The pandemic kind of put a pall on everybody, right? Our building, Iron Light as an event center, the chamber as an organization. But I think this is a testament to the fact that we've come back, and we are a vibrant community. And I think both this building, Iron Light as an event center, and the Lake Oswego Chamber of Commerce are all on a very positive path moving forward, and I'm really excited about the next few years. I'm also excited to have at our table Eric Kress and Sarah Zahn with UDP Development Partners. They will be hopefully recipients of the Headley Beautification Award in the next few years as they are developing the hotel and apartment complex down the street from us at the North Anchor. So thank you very much. Before I retired, sold my business 8 years ago, I traveled a bunch and a lot owned a large software business here in Oregon. Found my way to the East Coast and to Europe and to Australia. And I always tried to take something, a taste of Oregon, if you will, with me. Whether it was chocolate-covered hazelnuts, a Leatherman tool, a bottle of wine, or some specialty food that was kind of representative of our state. I try to take it with me, and typically it was well received. But the best reception, by far, were those folks on the East Coast when I would hand them a jar of Marion berry jelly. How many of you remember Marion berry? We've had some hands. So if you don't remember, go to somebody that raised their hand. The former mayor of the District of Columbia, and he ran the district from jail for illegal activities. And I would give somebody some Marion berry jelly and say, well, never sure what's going to happen to you when you partake of this. But before I was doing this 20 years ago. But after that, our honoree tonight started a business that's in the specialty food section for the state of Oregon. And you know who the recipient is, Kelly's Jelly. So that's not a surprise. But a little bit like Paul Harvey, and Paul Harvey didn't have a podcast. He wasn't a blogger. He was a radio personality. How many of you remember when we had radio personality, right? And Paul Harvey used to talk about the rest of the story. So I'll tell you a little bit of the rest of the story behind Kelly's Jelly. So our honoree, Kelly, she went through Lake Oswego High School as Kelly Reardon. Married her husband Adam in 2003, and so the two of them, Adam and Kelly Calabria, are residents here in Lake Oswego. They kind of came upon a great aunt's recipe for some specialty jelly, and really turned a family favorite into something that they could market. They were making it at night. They went to the farmer's market. They found outlets here, and I like to believe that luck is the intersection of preparation, opportunity, and persistence. And Kelly and her husband used those ingredients to really make a success. They have partnerships with New Seasons, with Burgerville, with one of our favorites, Voodoo Donuts, and a specialty food distributor that specializes in Oregon products to distribute outside of Oregon. And they have now they're shipping over 250,000 jars of jelly every month, every year. And we don't even know about them. They're kind of behind the scenes and under the radar. And surprises like this are so much fun. They've been awarded 5 national awards, including 3 Good Food Awards, most recently, and a Holiday Flavor Award for their cranberry vanilla fruit spread. They're introducing a honey product later this year, and they really have been recognized using local products and good practices as an outstanding business on a national basis. So isn't it time for us to recognize them here in Lake Oswego? And now they even have a habanero Marion berry jelly that I'm sure Mayor Berry would approve. So being a chamber member since 2019 and a graduate of the Leadership Lake Oswego in 2013 helped me recognize Kelly and Adam Calabria as the D. Denton Business of the Year Award winners for from the Lake Oswego Chamber of Commerce.
I'll look right into the sun. Oh, yeah, bring the sun up. We can get a little closer to the sun.
Great, thank you. Take that back to your kitchen.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Jay, and thank you, the Chamber, for having us. This is a wonderful event, and we're honored to be in the discussion of this award and very humbled to be receiving it. The City of Lake Oswego has been a huge part of our story, both personally and professionally. We met here, we bought our first house here, our kids were born here, and we started our first company here. You know, it's been we started about 13 years ago, and when we started, we really weren't sure, you know, how we're going to make this work. We had one recipe, as Jay mentioned, from Kelly's great aunt Danny, which was delicious, but that's all we had. We had an entrepreneurial spirit, a work ethic, and a pretty good name. It was Kelly's Jelly, so it kind of rolls off the tongue. A funny fact is Kelly was not really fond of it calling it Kelly's Jelly. She didn't want her name on there, but it was too perfect, so we ran with it. And the city has been great to us, embraced us all throughout. We actually had our first market here at the LO Farmers Market, and from day one, we were supported, loved, encouraged, and it really motivated us and propelled us to be better and improve and succeed. So I just, bottom of my heart, thank you to everybody that's you know, tried our jelly, spread the love, and yeah, thank you very much. So.
Okay, so of course this would not be possible without our amazing team. Our dear friend Hillary is our first employee. She's worked with us for 10 years now. Couldn't do without her. She always makes us look good, and she does everything. She knows everything about the company. It's been such a pleasure to have you. Matt, amazing. He runs all our logistics, super organized, always willing to take a challenge. And then we have a genie out here somewhere, Terry Chic. Don't blink because the work will be done before you even open your eyes again. She runs all of our finances, all the billing, all of that. So thank you all of our team, very small but mighty team. I also want to just mention the Portland food community. It's been so huge, so helpful to us. Sarah Masoni with the Food Innovation Center. If you ever have a question about how to do something, she's always the first call. When we first wanted to get our kitchen certified, this crazy idea of making 30 jars a night, every night, we called Sarah. And then when we needed to scale up to doing a co-packer, called Sarah, and we're still working with her recently for some new recipe development for our honey line that we're coming up with. So thank you. And we have new seasons here. Chris, thank you, Chris. Funny story, we said in 2010, if we could just get into new seasons, we're gonna retire. So keep opening those stores, Chris, because we're not giving up. And then finally, our family, our parents, our siblings, all the encouragement, advice, and just support that you have given us. It's just been so wonderful. So thank you so much. This has been a grassroots effort, community-based, and we are so appreciative of everybody. Thank you.
Hands off the jelly. Hands off the jelly. Okay, I see they left a jelly up here. Congratulations. First of all, thank you, Jay, and congratulations.
This is for me.
Yep. All right, there you go. Okay. I know you already have a tagline, but spreading the love is also pretty good. So there you go. Up next, we have a very special award, and it's one we do not get to give out very often. As such, if you're following along in your program or happen to look at the screen, you know which award it is. And you now know why we don't get to give it out very often. And as such, we have a very special presenter. We've talked a lot about heart this evening, and I'd like to ask you to please join me in welcoming the very heart of our organization and one of my very favorite people to work alongside, CEO of the Chamber, Elizabeth Hart.
And let me tell you a little bit about our chamber. We celebrate the old, we welcome the new, and we plan for the future. We have been the voice of business for more than 80 years, and we're the organization behind the Village Flower Baskets and Leadership Lake Oswego for more than 30 years. The chamber strengthens local business through education, advocacy, and community partnerships. And the chamber is a vital partner in making Lake Oswego a vibrant and inclusive community to visit, grow a business, and call home. Now, some folks have the perception that Lake Oswego is special because of wealth. For those being celebrated this evening, they know it takes dedicated people to grow and maintain a special community. It helps that the community values education, lifelong learning, and good health. Our city has talented professionals who serve, work, and assist our citizens. Our school district has dedicated teachers, parents, and students who want to learn. Our chamber represents businesses that care for their employees, serve our citizens, and provide welcoming spaces for our visitors. There is one more vehicle that helps bring all these people together and helps us understand and work with each other. The Lake Oswego Review turned 100 during COVID. We didn't get to celebrate this important milestone, so tonight we recognize the importance a local newspaper has in strengthening the fabric of our community. The Review is older than the Chamber. While our city is more than 100, it takes special care to keep a business, especially a newspaper, going in Oregon for more than 100 years. And just like there aren't a lot of 100-year-old businesses in Oregon, there aren't a lot of cities on the West Coast that have a high-functioning city government, successful school district, and a community that lives its values and values relationships, continuous improvements, and open, honest discussion. The Lake Oswego Review has been here for us. The contribution of a community newspaper enables, encourages, and engages. Like many of the citizens you've heard from this evening, this happens here without any expectation of public recognition, and yet it's about a public that recognizes the importance of a local newspaper. It's an understatement to say that newspapers and media have changed over the past 100 years. Our community appreciates the articles about local citizens and activities, and the opportunity to comment through citizens forums, and the advertising that tells you what's going on with events and local businesses. I know you're all going to be reading the Lake Oswego Review next week when they report on this event this evening. Our review representatives help support community activities, and they are fully engaged in being a part of our community. The Lifetime Achievement Award is named after past review publisher Bob Bigelow. The review provides the glue that bonds this community. Citizens of Lake Oswego count on the Lake Oswego Review to keep them informed and engaged. Tonight, the Chamber celebrates the 103-year legacy and thanks the owners, Dr. Bob and Marilyn Paplin, for their dedication to our community through the continued ownership of the Review. Bob and Marilyn are longtime residents of Lake Oswego. They enjoy living here where they dine, shop, and raise two daughters who who attended Lake Ridge High School. The Pamphlets purchased the review in 2000 and kept the review through COVID. No one understands the contribution a newspaper makes to build community better than the Pamphlets. So tonight, we celebrate and thank Bob and Marilyn for this local resource and treasure that is a major contribution to the magic that makes Lake Oswego a special place to live, work, play, visit, learn, and raise a family. The people we thank this evening are the foundation of our community. Bob and Marilyn Pamplin, please come forward to accept the Century Award. And as they come forward, will you raise your glass as a thank you for this very special community treasure, the Lake Oswego Review.
Wow, this is just great. I love all this excitement and attention. I'm from the South. Can everybody hear me back there? Okay. Well, Marilyn and I, of course, are thrilled to be the recipient of this award, even though it was not one that you typically earn. It's just one you lived long enough to get. 100 years. Wow, that is one long time. It's kind of like being on a merry-go-round, having a great time, and you just say, I gotta do it again. I'm a farmer too, in addition to being a businessman. And I was walking out on the fields one day and I noticed this turtle on top of a fence post. Can you imagine that? So I shook my head and I went up to the turtle and I said, what are you doing on top of that fence post? And he said, well, I'm just sitting here. And I got to be honest with you. Somebody helped me get there. And that's the way it is with me and Marilyn and the Lake Oswego Review. This award has fingerprints of so many people on it. One of them, of course, is Brian Monahan. Brian, come on up here. See, his hand's bigger than mine, so he's had more fingerprints on it. and he's the president, so obviously he does. Well, in honesty, that's what true journalism is and should be, is honest. You got a lot of people that are working on it collectively, individually, and putting it together. And when I first took over this activity and dedication, I made a little speech to the people. And I said that I want to make doggone sure that you understand, and I don't want you ever to deviate from this. And I think they've done a really good job. A couple of times they slipped, and boy, I got on their tail. And that is, I want you to make sure that you have everything correct. You're not shortchanging, and you're not trying to make something out of what isn't there, just so that you can try to win a Pulitzer. I could give a hoot about a Pulitzer. What I want you to do is give both sides of a story. Don't give just one side, give both sides. And then let the people make up their mind on what they believe not what you want them to believe for yourself. And so they've done a really good job, especially Brian here. And he still has a smile when he sees me. Okay, and then Oregon is a great place, but a better place is Lake Oswego. Lake Oswego is the jewel of Oregon. It has been from the beginning, it will continue to be, and the reason why it is because of all you folks out there. You are really making the city. It's your city, you know it's your city, and you're not going to let anybody get in here and tamper with your city and make it different than what it is. So, Marilyn and I greatly appreciate this recognition. And guess what? The turtle does too. So in closing, I just want you to know that bricks and mortar, polished wood, they don't mean very much. What means something is the veracity, the understanding, the love that a person puts in something. It's not me and Marilyn to put in love for the Lake Oswego view. It's what you have done, because you have your fingerprints on this award as well. Don't tarnish it. Always look to make Lake Oswego the best. In so doing, you will be civil. People here will be civil. They'll enjoy living here. The only problem we're going to have too many people coming here. But that's okay. You can sell more jelly. I better quit. That's the best hand clapping I've had in a long time.
Thank you so much, Liz, and congratulations, Bob and Marilyn. Is everyone detecting a theme here tonight? There's an awful lot of finger pointing going on. It's as if we're all sort of interconnected, and all of our success is based on the person sitting right next to you, isn't it? I think juxtaposition is great because we're getting close to the end of the program, and sometimes putting unlike things next to one another will wake you up a little bit. So, on the heels of the Century Award, you know, the one that takes, you guessed it, 100 years, I'd like to acknowledge the incredible importance of new perspectives and new people. Those that haven't been a part of the fabric of our community for decades, but rather those that step in with fresh energy and fresh perspectives to both keep us going and to bring us into new ground and new territory. Here to introduce our Community Leader of the Year is a relative newcomer who has wasted no time in putting her energy and perspectives to use, none other than Chamber Member Coach to Brilliance and Chamber President-elect, Heather Graves Ramsey.
Thank you. I was hoping with the heels I wouldn't have to move this down too much. So coming into this community, we've lived in many different places, and here there's something about plugging in. There's something about being a part of this space, about plugging in, about being in service of, and yet, even though many of you, all of you in this room, are in service of, there are some people who pull us in even stronger. And tonight, our Community Leader of the Year is just that person. Somebody who, when you're in his beam of light, and I'm talking about Lal right here, when you're in his beam, he pulls you in and he helps you step up, he helps you increase what it is that you're doing. He doesn't let us rest on what we've done before, but more putting us towards what we're going to do in the future. Lal, you've been amazing at bringing us together to focus on pathways for students who college isn't their thing, but that's okay because they still need to have connections to the businesses here. Lal has had the passion, the energy, knowing who to pull in at the right time and the right place to make it happen. Knowing that it wasn't just going to be the Lake Oswego Rotary, right? It was going to be pulling in the chamber. It was going to be pulling in the high schools. It was going to be pulling in the other
Cruiseway Rotary, the other community leaders that are here, and building something that will help with a pathway that will last not just for today, but for further in the future for our students. So, in understanding a little bit more about you, Lal, I've learned why it is that you pulled me in, and I really appreciate that, the way that you have done that. But Lal and his wife, Manju, they came here in 2019. They came here to be near their family. So we have Kabir, we have Ria, and we have Neelam. And they're community leaders in of themselves, people who serve this community very strongly, but they also lured the two of you here, which we're very grateful for. Lal came from India, and in there, he with his family, his parents, they gave him what they could, which was an amazing education. Lal took that, he worked hard. In his work, he built up. He worked in one of the largest companies in India, heading up several divisions and always taking care of his people, helping to focus in on them, helping to build them up, helping to give them a career path that is one that's viable, one that can help them be fulfilled, but also help them be thriving. And people still today are reaching out to Lal to thank him for that and to remember the impact that he has made on them. In 1989, he joined the Rotary, and as all of us know, Rotary is service above self. He's been there for over 30 years, past president of a Rotary in India, but also bringing up for the vocational training committee. And the vocational training committee there was doing something very similar to what he's bringing here to us in this community. And that is helping those students who aren't going to college find diverse opportunities for each and every one of them so that they can then, again, thrive and do something that they are fulfilled with, and they can be a part of that community. That program that he was working with there is huge, and now he brings to us that experience, that energy, that passion, the reason for the internship task force coming together. He knew that it needed to have more than just one person. He brought in Liz Hartman from the Chamber, between Lake Oswego Rotary and the Chamber. Now we have this internship group that is coming together and really trying to move forward with how we can build a bridge between those students and the businesses here in this community. Now, I think we have. Oh my gosh. Well, we were putting our Lal hat on, and we said, what would he want us to do here? And you know what Lal would do? He would ask every single one of you to join in on this movement. And so in the back, we have a QR code that we're going to ask each and every one of you to do. And if you can't find that QR code, you're going to find any one of us who's on this task force to be able to help us. Oh, look at this. See, we have Vanna White, Liz Hartman, bringing it on. So we have this QR code. What we're going to ask of each and every one of you is to get yourselves in front of these students. What we need is these businesses in this community, they need to either know what it is that you do, so even if it's going for a 30-minute talk, talking about your jellies and how you started, what you did, how you got there, maybe it's that. If you're scared to talk in front of high school students, which I am, I hear you, but if you can't do that, bring them over to your business for a shadow. Right? Have them come and shadow your company. Better yet, have them as interns. We really want to have a pipeline of businesses that are bringing these students in and having interns. So in honor of you, Lal, we would ask that, that each and every one of you get that spark, get that beam, because again, Lal brings you in and he makes it happen. And I know you do, you did for me. and be a part of the movement to help us bridge some of those students and bring them into this community and keep them in this community and help them thrive. So Lal, please come and accept this award.
I don't deserve that many accolades. but again, DNA is in my Rotary. I mean, Rotary is in DNA. I have 30 years in India and 4 years in this place. I'm sorry my health is of late not as good, and so I keep forgetting what I have to say. But nevertheless, I want to thank my wife of 49 years. For constant support. We have been honored to be part of this wonderful community since 2019. When we moved here to be closer to our family, that is our both sons, one lives in New York and one lives here, and that is a big boon in my life. Vocational training is my passion. I mean, I have been a president of that club. I have enjoyed a lot of things, but nothing like vocational training. Because I strongly believe that children need to be invested in vocational training from the point of view that not one child must go without any must not go without any
Career, not a career.
yeah, without any proper career. I mean, it's a shame, frankly speaking, when I came to US, I thought it was all fantastic. But I didn't realize that the number of people who are without homes, without education, or inadequate education, I feel very ashamed of myself. I want to bring them, each one of them, to a right education, to a possibility of at least earning a respectable emoluments, and you see, we need to do a lot, and in this community has to do it. According to me, in Lake Oswego, lots of people think that everything is hunky-dory. We are in a perfect shape. We don't have these problems. These problems belong to Portland or farther away. But listen, I mean, 20 miles away is not unfair. I mean, we are in Rotary serving Guatemala, Ghana, and all those countries which need help. Good, we need to help them. But why we cannot help our own community nearby? And for that, I need help and support from all of you in the coming years. Well, I have never imagined, of course, that I would get the Community Leader Award of the Year. I did, because I am only 4-year-old, but, sorry, 4-year-old in Lake Oswego. So, for that, giving me such an opportunity and giving me such an award, I thank you Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I mean, I have been detected with cancer about 3-4 months ago. Hopefully, with your blessings and good wishes, I will become okay.
Well, thank you, Heather, and congratulations, Lal. Here's some good wishes. Let's all send some more that way. Our final award this evening, if you take a look over at the table, there are no more awards on the table. Our final award this evening honors and recognizes members of our community who've gone above and beyond in sharing, you guessed it, their heart with our community. In particular, those who have dedicated a lifetime of passion to improving our fair city. Thankfully, we are blessed to have a number of them in attendance this evening. I'm wondering if you will do me the kindness of standing if you are a previous recipient of the Bob Bigelow Lifetime Achievement Award. Look around the room. Thank you all for your long-term, sustained efforts on all of our behalf. Here to introduce this year's award winner is Chamber member with law firm Glazer, Moore & Peterson, chair of the Bob Bigelow Lifetime Achievement Award Committee, and previous winner of the award itself, Peter Glazer.
How about we don't creak it one more time, like somebody's knee, Jay. It's a triple pleasure to present this award. I consider it 3 awards in one because it honors its namesake, Bob Bigelow. It honors 22 years of Lifetime Achievement Award winners, and it honors this year's very special award winner. Lake Oswego's Lifetime Achievement Award is named for Bob Bigelow, publisher of the Lake Oswego Review, until a heart attack took his life at age 42. Bob energized Lake Oswego. He lived, breathed, and loved Lake Oswego. He excelled as president of this chamber and president of Lake Oswego Rotary Club. And as Lake Oswego welcomed the new millennium, Bob had a lot to do with Lake Oswego moving forward with the revitalization of downtown, beginning with the development of Lakeview Village, anchored by Five Spice. Everybody loves it now. But that project was quite controversial and opposed by people from the political right and from the political left. And it had been turned down by a slight majority of Lake Oswego voters, but a majority had turned it down. The increasingly vibrant and healthy downtown that we enjoy today, including this venue and this building, exists because of the positive energy of Bob Bigelow. The Bob Bigelow Lifetime Achievement Award was created in 2001 to honor those who have given Lake Oswego their leadership, creativity, philanthropy, inspiration, and community service. And tonight we honor a man who joins impressive company. Award winners over the past 22 years include those recognized by our MC, and I would like to remind you of 2 or 3 more. Bill and Buzz Headley had a lot to do with originating the lobster feed and the purchase by community volunteers of the former school that became Lakewood Center for the Arts. And then in the 1990s, Bill Headley stepped forward to purchase the prominent White House at 10th and A that he envisioned, and simply plunked down the money to buy so that it didn't get sold to somebody else. He envisioned and then established as Lake Oswego Heritage House and Museum. Another past Lifetime Achievement Award winner was Dee Denton, who led our chamber for 3 decades and devoted her life to community service, notably with the Festival of the Arts and the Lobster Feed. Let me tell you some of the contributions made by this year's winner. He has been integral to our community being known as the City of the Arts since he began as theater manager on a 6-month contract in 1977 for the entity we now know as Lakewood Theater. Back then he was paid peanuts and he had to rent his own typewriter for $25 a month. Since then, he has fostered and overseen programs that exposed multiple generations of children to the arts, and he has enriched the lives of many thousands of persons through the performing arts and visual arts. His work has been described as, quote, more than a job, it's a calling. He is, quote unquote, Mr. Literacy in Lake Oswego Rotary Club, and has served since the start on the steering committee of Lake Oswego Reads, our library's award-winning community reading program. He is vice chair of Friends of the Library. He has served on countless local and regional tourism boards and committees. He was described by Mike Buck as a very special person in the community, a blessing. He is, I guarantee you, the glue that holds together the 43-year partnership of Lake Oswego Rotary Club and Lakewood Center that produces Lake Oswego's premier social event of the year, the Lobster Feed. The Lobster Feed has raised millions of dollars for a multitude of nonprofits, and the Lobster Feed is where 600 happy guests will enjoy dinner and bid on great auction items under a big white tent on Saturday, June 17th. Our 2023 Bob Bigelow Lifetime Achievement Award winner is, of course, no surprise. It's been in the paper, it's been in the ads. It's Andrew Edwards.
Picture opportunity, Peter. Yes, take your time, Andrew. Thank you, Peter. With or without Peter?
Thank you, Peter, for getting out of my way. Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, to the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, President Matt, elected officials, honored award recipients, MC Chris, and dear friends. Thank you for this incredible honor. I am deeply grateful for this recognition and humbled to be among such distinguished company. It's truly an extraordinary feeling to be recognized and acknowledged for a career that has been so fulfilling and rewarding. I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to those who have supported me throughout my journey, including my amazing wife, Nancy, who's here tonight. She gives me inspiration every day. To my family, to my daughter, Caitlin, who is also here with her partner, Rover. my friends, colleagues, and mentors, and of course to the sound man who's going to help me with the sound here. And of course, due recognition must go to the amazing staff at Lakewood, some of who are here tonight. And you know, we've had boards and elected people and everyone stand up. I would like the staff at Lakewood to stand up to be recognized. Steve is in the back. There's Natalie with the festival, Shelley, our office manager, Miriam, who keeps our books. Thank you, Miriam. Lauren, who works in our development and makes all those grants happen. Steve, who makes our theater programs work. It's amazing. They make me look good, and thank you for that. It's an amazing staff, and especially I want to thank the Lakewood Board of Directors, past and present. Many of you here tonight, thank you for being here, who have guided and encouraged and supported me for so many years. Now, just a side note, I know probably many of you have had bosses in your life, maybe 4, 5, 6, you know, a few. I just want to let you know in my career, I looked this up, I've had 128 bosses. They are the board members. I'm going to say that again, 128 who are very expressive in what they think, and 22 board presidents who are even more expressive in what they think. But without all these people's encouragement and guidance, I would not be standing here today. I started my job in 1977 on a 6-month CEDAR grant, as Peter alluded to. I guess the board never read the fine print. I'm still there. Don't tell them this, but I kind of like my job. I like what I do, and why wouldn't I? In the arts, we gather in a safe place. We become, for a very brief interval, a community. Through theater, music, dance, or fine art, we try on different ideas, different personalities. And that's an experience we can all share, just for a moment. Heartfelt emotions. And for a brief time, we share in common a unique experience. It's sometimes quite magical. People will often ask me, well, what have I learned in my job? My mother often asked me that. After 10 years, she said, I know you're in this arts thing, but do you think it's gonna last? Yes, Mother, it did last. What did I learn? Well, from board members, actors, directors, and staff, here's just a few things that I want to share with you that I've learned, and maybe they'll be of use to you. I shared some of them with the Chamber's Leadership Committee, and they've said that it's helped them. Help others in what they do, and they'll help you. Seems pretty simple. 95% of a successful show is casting. The rest is direction. Under promise, over deliver. And above all, laugh, often. God knows enough people are laughing at you. Sometimes people ask me what motivates me, and I start each day with these words, carpe diem. Now, it's a Latin phrase which loosely means seize the day. It encourages us to focus on the present, appreciate the value of every moment in life, and avoid postponing things unnecessarily. Carpe diem is a war cry. Carpe diem invokes inspiration. It urges us to shed our inhibitions, pluck some courage, and grab every opportunity that comes our way. Eat dessert first. Tell people you love that you love them, and enjoy every moment you can. So, if you remember nothing about who said what this evening, on your way home tonight, repeat these words, carpe diem. And what does that mean to you? So thank you, Chamber, Board of Directors, and members for honoring me with this great award. It is an incredible privilege to be recognized this way, and I share it with all of you. Thank you.
Notice I waited until you were all quiet so we could have one more time for good measure. Thank you, Peter, and a hearty congratulations to you, Andrew. Our community, quite literally, wouldn't be the same without you. So before we go any further, would you join me in bringing your hands together for all of tonight's award winners? That was very well done. You did good. As we wrap up this evening, an evening dedicated to taking the time to recognize those whose efforts bring both heart and soul into our community, it is also wholly appropriate that we recognize those who made this evening what it is. So I would like to acknowledge our title sponsor, Umpqua Bank, our gold sponsors, our gold sponsors, Beacon Lake Oswego and Republic Services. Our silver sponsors, Aldrich, Buckley Law, and Pacific West Bank. Our bronze sponsors, Comcast Business and Jordan Ramus. Also a final thank you, although I don't believe they're still here, to the Lake Ridge High School Jazz Combo. Hopefully their ears are burning. To Courtney Kennedy of Glow Gifts for chairing the awards event committee. To Savor and Graze for our wonderful bites. To Matthew Gimble of Paranormal Media Productions for the video services. Our photographer, Jonathan House, right there. To my better two-thirds, Christine Boyer. And of course, a giant thank you to all of you for being here tonight to bear witness to all of tonight's awards winners. In the spirit of celebration, you're all invited to grab one last drink, and Liz told me to say this, a chamber membership if you don't already have one. We have the space until 8:30, so please take the time to mingle, to say hello and congratulations, and perhaps most importantly, to recognize the heart that each and every one of you bring into this room tonight. Have a most excellent evening.